Hello, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA33 on this Thursday, April 30th. Today, I want to talk about our family mission, principles, and mantra. And I talked about yesterday on EFA32, I talked about it must be written. And I talked about how I wrote with my wife our family mission, principles, and mantra. And I want to go through that with you today. And the reason I want to go through this is what our daughters and us, myself, my wife, my two daughters, Madeleine and Eva, back on March 29, 2014. That's when they signed this. And as you can appreciate, they're they're still very young ladies, 13 and 14. And when they signed this back in 2014, they were young ladies. And we explained every part of this. And periodically, we go back to this. And then we review it sometimes. We have discussions on it. What does this mean to you today? What does this mean to you, right? And going forward in life, what does it mean to you going forward as a young woman going into life as a woman, et cetera, right? So we go through these principles. And today, and the reason I'm going through this is because a lot of the stuff is going on right now. A lot of the stuff going on right now, the uncertainties, these calls, these phone calls, and how do I manage this? How do I manage that? And we go through these things with friends and peers and etc. And you try to make sense of things because it ain't written. And there's importance of writing things, and there's importance for remembering things, right? Because when it's written, knowing where to find it when you need to get up to date on something. When you're being accused of something, where does it say that? Like, why can't I do that? There's a multiple reasons why it's important to have it in writing and have it clear, concise, black and white. You know what I mean? Like, this is not black and white, but you know what I mean? Clear and concise, right? So people understand what they need to do, right? And that's why it must be written is important. And so when I look at this, and I went through this with my daughters, I'm also making, when they were a young age, back in 2014, they understood going forward, there's rules and regulations and requirements to live within a civilized society, right? And when I look at this, I'm going to speak to you as a Canadian of French descent, right, Jean-Guy Bourguignon. So I'm Canadian, and my name comes of French descent. My wife was born Uruguayan. She's Canadian. She was born Uruguayan. My wife was raised a Seventh-day Adventist. She follows the Sabbath of God, right? And I was raised Catholic, and now I'm very spiritual. Like, I believe in good, right? Before anything, I start with good, and that's me, right? That's Jean Guy, and then my daughters, they're raised in that household, right? So, and what I'm getting to that is, we made it all work, right? We made it all work. We follow principles. We follow rules. We understand life. We understand and respect each other's values. Do we challenge sometimes? Do we have conversations? Absolutely. Just like a democratic society, right? People will challenge authority when it doesn't make sense. People will question authority when it's not written. People will challenge governance and politics, etc., when it's like right out of left field, is so gray that it creates all this noise. Correct? When it's so gray, it creates a lot of noise. Today in Ottawa, the city I'm in Canada, beautiful city there, by the way, world, beautiful city, the nation's capital. And I look at today in the nation's capital, they're telling people, the city officials are telling people, it's all over the media and news and that, not to go visit your elderly at the house from the outside. The window waivers, you know, they were told not to do that for the contagious spread of COVID-19. So I'm going to speak to you about a family member who is in one of those elderly facilities. She's going through another bout of cancer. She's been through multiple bouts of cancer, from brain cancer, lung cancer. What she's gone through in cancer lately, it's mind-boggling. And now she's got to go back through more bouts of cancer. But every time she goes out for cancer treatment, she comes back, she's quarantined for 14 days in her room. So imagine all these rules right now imposed on them. Individuals that are lonely. They're alone. They're in old age homes. They miss their family. And here's a person like my sister who is quarantined in a bedroom the size of my hand. I'm told I got big hands, but it's not a big room at all, right? She's confined to a room with one window, and then where she's told that these are all the rules that are coming, all this fear, all this stuff. She's told that every time she goes out, she's gonna have to get quarantined every time. So meaning she's gonna have to stay in her bedroom until all this stuff is lax. Could that be 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? We don't know, right? We don't know. But they keep putting on rules like this morning, what they started communicating yesterday, and etc., that you're not allowed to go outside. They're telling you not to go outside and wave out the window. Like, who came up with that? Maybe make it like the smokers. You can't be 20 feet from the building. Do not come closer to 20 feet from the building. Wave at the window 20 feet from the building. Put a line up there. 20 feet should be good. No, you should at least have a heart to let them see them through the window. Like, if you're afraid that they're going to open the window, there's a screen or something, or stick your head out. 20 feet, health professionals out there, anybody, is 20 feet far enough as somebody sticks their head out of a window to say, hi, civilization? Is that okay? 20 feet, if we put a line, some people might have to stand in traffic, so we got to maybe do 18 feet so they don't stand in traffic to wave at people. Like, could we have a balance? Could we have a balance? And I look at this family mission and principles and mantra. It's about this. It's about balance. It's about having it in writing. It's about things that make sense. That makes sense for people to live a normal life and not to have officials. Officials of all type now are coming in. They're coming out of the woodwork. We have officials of everything with a tool in hand to ticket somebody, right? They're coming out. I'm told some of them come out of pet trucks, the animal control. I'm told people there's been enforcement. I guess they're using other vehicles and that kind of stuff. I don't know, but you don't know. They might drop out of the sky in parachutes. I don't know, but I'm told all these things are happening, right? So I'm going to go back to this mission and principle and mantra, and I want to talk about a balance, right? This is why me and my wife, do this together for our family, our nest. Remember, I talk about your nest, your clan, your tribe, your family, your community. Like, all that stuff takes a village to raise a child, right? This is why we put this together. And again, this came from a conversation that I had with a gentleman in Panama. I was on vacation with my family in Panama. First time I was ever there. Beautiful vacation time. Loved it. Loved Panama. We had a great time. Met a beautiful people, and we met a beautiful. We got hosted well by somebody that's Canadian who works out of Toronto, Panama, with families that live in Panama, the expats, the American Canadians, etc. And this gentleman, a Jewish gentleman, great conversation, great intellectual conversations with him and his family, and he talked about missions and mantras and principles and etc. And it sparked me to tell my wife, I want to write this for our family. I want this put together. So I wrote my version of it. My wife wrote her version of it. We put it together. We blended it together. We incorporated our daughters, right? Imagine that, a democracy. Imagine a democracy within a nest, in a household, and a clan. And then we incorporated our daughter, and this was what we put together. And we all signed it, and we dated it. Family mission. Believe in a power greater than yourself. I told you earlier, my wife, Seventh-day Adventist. I'm very energetic. I believe in the energy of the earth, the globe of the earth. My wife follows her principle that Seventh-day Adventists are following God's Sabbath. So we believe in a power greater than yourself. And that's what we talked about to our daughters, believing in a power greater than yourself, right? And I always tell people, whatever you believe in, as long as it brings good to others, brings good to yourself, good to the community. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what your upbringing was. You should not have to wear a sign telling you what to do, right? You should not have to, because it's whatever you want to do, you should be able to do it. You should be able to do it in this world. You should be able to follow your own everything, religious right, without being persecuted in any shape or form, right? But don't impose onto others. Never impose onto others. If whatever you bring into life doesn't bring good onto others, then you can't impose it. You can't bring it. Right? It's simple principles. It's simple principles. Respect and create financial independence. Promote and encourage success in all aspects of life. Be supportive of each other's visions and goals. Very important, right? Supportive of each other's visions and goals. Debate, challenge, information, sharing, exchange of conversation, but support and be supportive of each other's, right, visions and goals. Understand the value of money. A lot of politicians need to do that. Understanding the value of money, right? And people out there, Why do you give so much right to others to manage your money? Because it is your money. I don't care how you see it, it's your money. It's the people's money that they manage. So understanding the value of money, if you understood the value of money, you would be more passionate about how they spent your money. Trust me on that. Be part of the change you want to see happen, right? If you want to see something happen, be part of that change. Make it happen. Work with it. Bring people like-minded that want to make that change happen. The family principles. Be each other's anchor. And I taught that to them, our foundation, our strength, is be each other's anchor here. Build a strong foundation to grow on, right? Whether it's building a house or building a family or building a community or building anything, a corporation, build a strong foundation to grow on. That's where it starts. Remember, upbringing surrounding the foundation, that's where it starts, being part of a strong foundation. Always climb higher. You may take a step sideways, but never downwards. I always tell my daughters I climbed the ladder of life. I took breaks on the balconies of life. Do I get stressed out? Have I depression and those kind of things in your life, in your mind, and nervous and anxiety and what the hell did I just do? Another business, that kind of stuff. You don't think I go through that? Everybody goes through those things. So that's why I take a step on the balconies of life. I breathe. I refocus. I rebalance myself, right? Resynchronize. And that's what I do. Recalibrate. All those terms, that's what I do. That's why I take my break. And then once I'm breathing, I'm good, I start climbing again, right? Always remember that it's a road and not a mountain. If you look at things as a mountain, it's going to be an obstacle. I tell my daughters, look at life as a road, right? Look straight ahead. Eventually, if we went on a road, you're eventually going to get there. If you keep going, you're eventually going to get there, right? If it's a mountain, you look at it as an obstacle, it's a challenge, right? People challenge mountains. The tallest peaks have been climbed. It's a challenge, but not everybody does it, correct? So if you look at life as a road, you'll eventually get there, right? Put the path in front of you. Before you give, make sure you have enough to give. And what I say about that is to my daughters, and we're discussing we do a lot of charity work and that kind of stuff for my daughters over the years. We taught them, we teach them those values, and those that know us, you can follow us the past, they know what we've done. But before you give, make sure you have enough to give, because there is people out there that'll keep taking. They will keep taking and move on and keep taking from somebody else, right? And you can't keep giving. And that's why I say the more money I make, the more lives I can touch. Right? The more success I can bring to other people's life, the more jobs I can create, the more all that stuff, right? But I can't do that if I keep giving. I can't do that if I keep spreading myself thin. I can't. And that's why I talk about that. Before you give, make sure you have enough to give. Focus on the positive and never dwell on a negative. Nothing good comes out of negative, right? Speak your truth quietly and clearly. Listen to learn and understand, and not only to respond. Very important. Listen to understand, not only to respond, right? And this is where you have balance in missions and balance in principles. And then you move on to your family mantra. We discussed and we shared and signed between each other, may we nurture each other with love, understanding, and forgiveness in order to walk our life's journey alongside one another, and may we never let envy or resentment grow between us. I've seen the best of the best, the most beautiful of souls, the strongest of families, let resentment and envy grow between them. Sometimes for money, sometimes for emotion, sometimes for nothing. Just like for goozies, for nothing, right? For nothing. And this is the Bourguignon family mission, family principles, and family mantra that myself, my wife Liz, Elizabeth, Madeleine, and Eva signed back in March 29, 2014. And we put it in writing, and we go through this, and there's a place where they can go and research and review and discuss and that's why it must be written. Whether you're enforcing bylaw, whether you're enforcing any law, whether you're enforcing any policy, whether you're enforcing any standard and that kind of stuff, it's good to have it in writing. And the reason being, they can revert to, they can go and find it. If they get accused of something, they can go and research it. Did I do something wrong, right? There's multiple reasons. That's why it must be written. And that's why we chose as a family to do this years ago, because we wanted our daughters to understand this also applies in life. This is life. This is life. Rules and regulations, standards, and that is also part of life. Following these principles gives a good democratic society. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA33, Wishing each and every one of you a beautiful, most loving, productive, healthy week. Thank you.